Okay, guys, what's up? We're going to start here in the DMV, right outside of DC. First, I need you guys to take the $5 challenge. It's very important. Channels like this that are alternatives to the mainstream news media that you guys say you love so much. If you love us, take the $5 challenge. And make sure you help support this channel. Also, subscribe to all the links in the description box because there are 4 channels associated with this network that we put content on the daily. So you might want to take full advantage of all the content that we provide here. And salute to all you guys who have been taking the $5 challenge, who have been sharing the videos, who have been liking the video as soon as you come in without being prompted. Salute to all of you guys. You guys are the ones that make the channel, make me get up in the morning, and when I get a chance in the evening, go make these videos and bring this real news to you guys. So salute to you guys. So we're going to start in the DMV today. 2 dead after an off-duty Pentagon officer fires at suspects in Tacoma Park. So we had a Capitol police officer killed last week, another one injured, and now we have a Pentagon officer who had to whack 2 brothers because they was trying to steal his car.
Thanks, Josh. Also developing tonight, 2 people are dead after an off-duty police officer opened fire on 2 people that he thought were breaking into a car. Now, this happened at a condo in Tacoma Park, Maryland. The off-duty Pentagon Force Protection police officer alerted Tacoma police about a car he thought was being broken into. When he tried to talk with the 2 suspects, they took off in that car and he opened fire. A short time later, the pair showed up at the hospital where they later died. No arrests have been made.
And now the community activists are out. You can't get the community activists out for none of the 200 murders in DC last year. You can't get them out for the murders in PG County and Montgomery County, where this happened at Montgomery County. You can't get them out for all the black people strewn in the streets, dead all over the DMV. But you can get them out when an off-duty cop shoots somebody. So the activists have emerged from wherever they've been hiding since George Floyd got killed. They finally got a case. They finally got a reason to protest around here. So let's see what's happening. Community activists demanding answers regarding this morning's deadly shooting in Tacoma Park involving an off-duty Pentagon Protection Force officer. This sounds like a crazy situation. On Wednesday, April 7th, 2021, at approximately 5:03 a.m. So this happened in the early morning when people going to work. A lot of people warming their cars up. They run in the house. Well, they leave their cars running so the car can warm up and they run in the house. But I mean, it's not that cold in DC this time of year, so maybe that's not what happening. But a lot of people going to work, and also DC is experiencing a spike in car thefts. People are paranoid. I told you the other day. When you go to the gas station, man, you gotta look around. When you're sitting in your car, you gotta look around because the carjacker's out. And you can't see a group of 13-year-old girls walking down the street and just be like, oh, that's just some girls that just, let your guard down. Because a lot of the carjackers are 13 and 14 and 15-year-old girls. So you can't relax. There's no reprieve. There's no relaxing. You got to be on point 24/7. And when people are heightened like that, and they're forced to be on guard because the bastard babies of single mothers and the entitled millennials are out here robbing everybody, things like this happen. So 5:30 a.m., officers from the Tacoma Park Police Department responded to multiple reports of shots fired in the parking lot area of the Tacoma Overlook condominiums at 733 New Hampshire Avenue. I drive by this all the time. This is right over the DC line. Upon arrival, officers were approached by an off-duty Pentagon Force Protection Agency police officer. Now, this is nowhere near the Pentagon. This is where this guy lives. The Pentagon is in Virginia, Northern Virginia, not far if you take the 395 or if you take the Beltway, but it's nowhere near here, like as far as like streets and whatnot. But this is near his house. He was not on duty. He approached the police when they arrived, and he advised that he observed what he thought was a car being broken into. He engaged the suspects, who failed to follow his direction. The suspects attempted to flee in a vehicle, at which time the officer discharged his service weapon. Now, here's the thing. If you approach some brothers or some young brothers and they getting into their car that they own or that they got, and you ask them something about it, and you a cop, they're gonna cuss you out. They're gonna give you a bunch of attitude. Now, I'm assuming this guy wasn't in uniform. He's off duty, but he's got a service pistol, and he's got, I guess some kind of authority because he's a cop. But he probably looked like a civilian. We have to find that out. If he was not dressed in like a uniform, he was gonna get no respect. He wasn't gonna get any, even if he was in a uniform. He's gonna get cussed out, called all type of hoes and bitches. But what I do? I ain't do shit. But him not even being in a uniform, maybe. Oh my God, these guys was probably like, what the fuck? What? Get the hell out of here. They probably didn't even like consider him. Whatever he was saying. So when he says they fled, they could have been just leaving. We don't know. But when there's a 350% rise in carjackings in the area, when murders are through the roof, shootings are through the roof, car thefts are through the roof, and goddamn 99.9% of the suspects look like me, sometimes people will see you in your own car. Things like this gonna happen, man. Black folk don't want to clean up their community. So, things like this happen. I don't know if these kids if these young guys were in their own car. That'll be determined. We'll get to that. We'll continue to cover this. We'll follow this. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the PayPal, hit the Cash App, hit the Super Chat. Shortly after the incident, two of the suspects. So let's go here. So, he engaged the suspects who failed to follow his direction. The suspects attempted to flee in the vehicle, at which time the officer discharged his service weapon. Now, that may have been an overreaction. If no baby was in the car, and because they love stealing cars with babies in it, and nobody was being dragged, the car owner wasn't being dragged, you may have wanted to just alert police. But he smoked them dudes. He's like, hey, stop. I'm an off-duty officer. Put your hands up. Like, whatever. Man, started driving off. He was like, oh yeah? He went Denzel with Equalizer. And we need some equalizers in our community. Where the equalizers at, man? Is that just the movies? All this damn crime? You gotta look over your shoulder and shit. You can't trust nobody. You can't let your guard down. Women committing crime, man, being victims of crime, public, broad day, in front of everybody. Where's the real equalizers, man? Oh, we need to equalize this stand up. This brother, he's a good candidate though. He went straight equalizer. He smoked these dudes, man. Shortly after the incident, 2 of the suspects involved arrived at the Prince George's Hospital. Dang, that's far. But, you know, that was the closest hospital. I think, what hospital could they have gotten to faster than Prince George's from where they were at? New Hampshire Avenue. Tacoma Park, New Hampshire Avenue. Damn, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Damn, it really ain't no. That's kind of like a hospital desert. Cause all the hospitals is yeah. That's kind of like a hospital desert right there. It's a couple in Silver Spring, Holy Cross. Yeah, they was in a hospital desert. They went all the way to PG, Prince George's County Hospital. Whew. That's a nice little ride. So they show up at Prince George's County Hospital, suffer from gunshot wound. Both individuals succumbed to the injuries. The Pentagon Force Protection Force Agency was notified. The Tacoma Police Department was actively investigating the incident in consultation with Montgomery County State Attorney's Office. So the Silver Spring Justice Coalition put out an action alert. Not for all the carjackings that's happening in Silver Spring in broad daylight, like the Wild Wild West. People just getting carjacked everywhere. They don't got nothing to say about that. The rise in shootings in Silver Spring, they have nothing to say about that. But they have a whole lot to say about this. Action alert. Please call Tacoma Park City Police to demand all recordings of officer and dispatch communications be released. All body camera footage be released. While the Tacoma Park City Police have left this dangerous law enforcement officer, presumably armed and capable of more violence at large, rather than arresting him when he evidently confessed to an unlawful homicide, per the Tacoma Park Police press release. And I'm not saying that this Silver Spring Justice Coalition is wrong for what they're saying, because it seems like damn, like what he did might have been messed up. But it would have been nice if these people would have started saying something last summer when the crime started spiking in Silver Spring, and it ain't safe to fucking get no gas at a gas station in Silver Spring in broad daylight. Now, you gotta understand, man, we're not talking about like under an overpass down by the lake 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking about 12 o'clock noon. Nothing to say about that.
Talk about that shooting at Tacoma Park. Police say an off-duty officer shot and killed 2 people today. Now, that officer is part of the Pentagon Force Protection Agency. He says he pulled the trigger because he thought these 2 people were trying to break into a car. But there are growing questions about what happened, and John Henry has new information on the officer and the calls for action tonight.
The Tacoma Overlook condominiums sit on the 7300 block of New Hampshire Avenue. Around 5 a.m. Wednesday, Tacoma Park Police got the call to head to the parking lot behind them.
We getting multiple calls, take it down, and then heard shots fired.
It sounded like 5 rapid, firecracker. When officers did get to the scene, they said an off-duty Pentagon Force Protection police officer approached them. He claimed he thought he saw people breaking into a car. The Pentagon officer said he gave commands to them, but police say the suspects got into a car and took off. So police say the Pentagon officer decided to shoot his service weapon in their direction. 2 people in that car would later die in the hospital from gunshot wounds.
One of the gunshot suspects did pass away.
No information has been released about the people shot, but some locals have questions.
They may have been in a car. They couldn't get in. Maybe they were locked out.
And the Silver Spring Justice Coalition has already demanded to see responding officers' body cam footage.
There needs to be heightened scrutiny of what took place here. There needs to be absolute and rapid transparency.
The Department of Defense told us the officer involved has been in his position for almost 2 years. They add he's an Air Force veteran who currently meets all of his use of force and firearms qualifications. The department also says that officer is on administrative leave, and since 9/11, off-duty officers have been allowed to take their service weapons home with them. John Henry, WUSA 9.
So let's just say it. There's a lot we don't know about this story, but we do know this. The Pentagon tells us their officers can only take action when they're off duty, when there is violence happening in front of them or the threat of it. And they can only shoot into moving vehicles if there is a serious threat of injury or death to the officer or others. And we don't know whether any of that happened early this morning. But you can count on us to keep pushing for answers and to bring them to you as we get them.
So, we have the names of the 2 brothers that was killed by this officer. "32-year-old Dominique Williams and 38-year-old James Johnson." So Dominique Williams was from Hyattsville. So Hyattsville is a neighboring city. It's right there. Sometimes you don't know whether you in Tacoma Park or Hyattsville. But this other guy, James Johnson, from District Heights. Now, District Heights is over deep in PG County, the neighboring county to Montgomery County where this happened. So he was far from home. But we don't know if that's just his listed address, but he was far from home if that's where he lives at, where he resides at. And 5:30 in the morning he was far from home, and we don't know if he was doing anything wrong. Because even if they were doing something wrong, I think that Black Lives Matter is going to have a case with this one. They're going to be able to riot and protest because this guy smoked them. I mean, he killed them for disobeying his commands, for fleeing, not running towards him. If they had driven the car towards him, I could understand him shooting them. Black Lives Matter wouldn't understand. They would still act like they were confused about that. But I would understand if they drove. But if they were driving the car away from him, you can't shoot them. You can't execute them dudes like that, man. Even though people are tired of this crime, man, that's going on. And if these brothers were in the act of committing the crime, 5:30 in the morning, 2 dudes, was they going to work? They live in the building? Was they getting in their car going to work? I mean, but even if they were doing wrong, as we see, like, they're going to say stealing a car is not a death sentence. And that's not true. Because there's some people, if you steal one of these thug niggas' cars, go over southeast. Go over Southeast. Go over Congress Heights. And steal one of them major hitters, one of them steppers, one of them top dudes over Congress Heights. Steal his car. Go over Benning Road. Steal one of them dudes' cars. And see if it ain't a death sentence. So, you want to hear a lot about how stealing the cars and the death sentence, and nothing could be further from the truth. Go to Sandtown up in Baltimore and steal one of them heavy hitters over there. Steal their car. So, this notion that stealing the cars and the death sentence is not true. However, when you're a cop, you're held to a higher standard than civilians. Shoot first and ask questions later is apparently the new policy. This is the second case of a shooting by an off-duty Pentagon officer this week. They were probably trying to flee out of a very real fear for their lives. Even if they were committing the crime, this was excessive. An off-duty Pentagon police officer shot and killed 2 people in a parking lot that he said he thought were breaking into a car. The duo allegedly did not follow his commands. But if he was off duty, why would anyone take a person at 5 a.m. serious? This is awful. So if we go just back to March 25th, there was another situation where an off-duty Pentagon officer, because they all live in the area. They don't live in Ohio and work at the Pentagon. They don't live in California and work at the Pentagon. They live in the metropolitan D.C. area. So it's not uncommon that you're going to see off-duty Pentagon cops in the metropolitan area because they work there. But this guy says a young teen tried to rob him. And now this is being re-examined under the lens of what happened yesterday in Tacoma Park. Now, this Southeast DC, this is the hood. This is the trenches. This is where you don't, where if she bad and you going to see her, you need to bring something with you. Even if she ain't bad, you need to bring something with you. Now, you may not have to bring something with you, but it's a possible. Things happen over here, okay? Things happen over here. This is the side of D.C. that gave D.C. its reputation. When you go to the jails or the federal penitentiary system and you hear about D.C. dudes, how rough and rugged and, you know, how everybody's scared and don't want to be around D.C. dudes, they talking about a lot of that comes, a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of that comes from dudes from Southeast. They are the ones that give D.C. the reputation for the, you know, that people fear. Now, there's a lot of good working people over there, a lot of good people over there, a lot of dynamite people over there, law-abiding citizens. But things happen over there. A lot. A lot. So, I don't know if they're going to try to make it seem like this guy is lying about saying somebody tried to rob him, but you can get robbed over there, Jack. A teenager was shot as he allegedly tried to rob a man who turned out to be an off-duty Pentagon police officer, according to D.C. police. The 16-year-old boy, armed with a BB gun, attempted to rob the officer in the 1200 block of Mississippi Avenue Southeast, near Oxen Run Park, about 9:20 p.m. Police said the officer tried to disarm the teen, then fired their service weapon. The teen was hit in the arm and taken into custody. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. This is being re-examined in light of the double fatal shooting by an off-duty Pentagon cop yesterday. Now, none of these white people you see on here talking about this situation will say diddly squat if 4 black men was killed and it wasn't a cop. You wouldn't hear diddly squat. I mean nothing. Zilch, zero. Except maybe from their perspective of like, the city's getting rough, the police need to do something about all this murder. But you won't see no compassion, no empathy that you're seeing from these white people online and these DC whites if 6 black dudes would have got killed. Like I said, if they would have broke into one of the thug dudes, one of the gangster dudes' car, and he came out and seen him and killed 8 black dudes right there on the spot, you wouldn't hear a peep from any of these people. Okay? Nothing. Like, I'm talking about, like, you're like, oh my God, things are out of control. We need more police. I mean, defund the police. I mean, more police. They be confused. They don't know what they want. Sometimes they want more police, sometimes they want less police. But you wouldn't hear a peep. Nothing. But salute, at least this gives them a chance to care about a black person. Not like 200 black persons didn't get killed last year in the streets of DC. Okay, so off to the gun memorial for a city that's 45% black and 55% not black. And most of those not black people are white. So this is a city where you got just as many white people as black people. Just as many. Let's see who's dying from gun violence. You see Anthony Davis and Antoine Davis, 2 brothers got killed together. Murdered just the other day. 2 brothers. Look at all these brothers. Look at all these people, black people that's getting killed. Them white liberals don't give a damn. They don't never say shit. They ain't online talking about this shit. Only black white person you see online talking about this is Alan Heaney. And he talks about crime. There's only one white dude that'll say something online when all this is happening. Or maybe Popville. The rest of these crackers don't give a shit. All these black people getting killed in the streets. But as soon as a cop kills a nigga, they want to show up because they can get clout for it. Not because they care, but because there's a lot of attention and a lot of people looking on Twitter and they get to fucking tweet and get people see their tweets. All this is happening in their community. A lot of these niggas are falling dead on their doorsteps. Stop me when you see a white person, though. Because I'm talking and I'm looking. So stop me when you see a white person. Stop me when you see a white person. This little boy right here, Carmelo, driving in the car with his parents, with his father. Dude just started shooting. Bullet went through, hit him. He dead. Gone. Ain't hear shit from no crackers about that. A lot of these dudes ain't thugs. A lot of these dudes just was in the wrong place at the wrong time. All these guys on this thing wasn't thugs. Bad guys. Stop me when you see a white person. It's just as many white people in this city as black people. Stop me when you see one white person. I ain't say two, a whole row. Stop me when you see one. This brother carjacked at a gas station. Virginia Tech graduate, entrepreneur, had his own business. Stopped at a random gas station up in Tinleytown. Where this ain't supposed to happen. Some dudes was cruising, looking for somebody to carjack, because even the crime is up there now. I don't know if he resisted or what happened, but it didn't. They ended up killing him. No suspects. And that's the thing about this. Why these white people not asking for justice for these people? The killer need to be brought to justice. Half these people on here, they don't in the person who killed, and it's just like, no suspects. They just dead. Stop me when you see a white person. One. Not a row. I just want one. Stop me when you see one. There we go. This one, William Charles Dismuke. William Charles Dismuke, 38. July 2020. But, hey, now they get the, like, but they don't get no clout. I get it. I understand now. I understand now. I get it now. If John shoot Man, Pookie, Taquarius, Leroy, Tyrone, and Sean, these white people tweet about it and say about how messed up it is and how they feel so bad for the families and how the killer needs to be in jail, because you know the killer ain't gonna be caught. Most of these killings in DC, nobody get caught. They don't get no clout. These white people ain't gonna get no clout for tweeting about that. They gotta tweet about it when it's a cop, because they know everybody watching now because it's a cop, and they get online and talk about it be like, look at me, I care too. Look how much I care about black people. So we're gonna continue to follow this situation, man. This is potential to be a powder keg. There's definitely gonna be protests, but we just wanna, I don't know if there's gonna be rioting, because Biden's in office. They don't wanna, you know, the Black Lives Matter crew been kind of acting like they got some sense, not burning up cities, because they got their guy in the White House. But wasn't all this supposed to be? This supposed to stop, man. This was supposed to happen because of Trump, you know, because like Trayvon and Walter Scott and Philando and Eric Garner. All those, wait a second, those happened under Obama. But this is supposed to stop because of Trump, you know. This was bold. This is all Trump's fault. All this happened because of Trump, you know. The only reason black dudes get killed by cops is because of Trump. So this is, I don't know what's going on here. This might be a glitch, man. This is a glitch in the, this is a conspiracy, man. Because Trump's not in office anymore and black dudes are still getting shot by cops. I don't know. But, whatever. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Peace. I'm out.